Hey everybody, Texas Trucker here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. Friday nights, July 5th. If you hear fireworks, apologize or let you enjoy it. What we've got going on, we got the Mac half-inch roto, we got the 3/8 drive Axis 13-inch flex head, the 9-inch I've got at work, quarter drive, not 3/8, but quarter drive 9-inch. That thing has broken in beautifully. Really happy with it. The 3/8, I've got that video scheduled for tomorrow. We did Barney, the purple Mac driver, for Wednesday, and this is one of the coolest dadgum battery lights going off. The absolute coolest selector switches I think I've ever seen. You got the American flag, you got USA, and yes, for idiots, you have on and off. Awesome. Doesn't get any better than that. They're coming out in orange and green. I believe Flyer 10 or 11s where you're going to see that. It's in foam trays even. I'm not quite sure on the size specs. I don't know if that's going to be how they launch or if you can get them standalone. But I saw that last week. Matt guy swung by. There was a flyer, the seasonal savings one, and there was something in there I wanted, and be danged, when I texted him, he said, I got it. And that rarely happens. I've tried to get so many things. I'm like, oh, well, Mack truck will have it. Nope. Brass punches, I've struck out on so many deals. A couple of other things, kind of last minute, but this one, I saw it and I was like, I'm going to see if he's got that. And he did. And he showed up to sell it to me, and he didn't have it. It was back at the house, so he had to come this Wednesday, and that's when I got this from him, and pretty excited about it. I don't know. I'm torn on where to have this one. We'll cover that when we get to it, but it was in the seasonal savings flyer. That's not like a numbered flyer, it's just like a bonus one, if you will. And $2.99 was the price, and I thought, you know what, that is pretty solid, so we went ahead and made the deal. Part number SMT27, this last part's probably going to give it away, R.B.R.T. And this is what we've got. I have refrained from opening it so we can kind of do that together. It's in a red blow molded case, most Mac things are. Right here, if we can get that to focus through the cellophane, I'm not sure that we can, so I'm just going to read it to you up here. Enjoy looking at the beautiful Axis ratchet. 27-piece quarter, 3/8, and half-inch drive advanced star and short hex driver set. If we spin down to the bottom, this is now the label I will be going by. Again, enjoy your eye candy while I read to you. 27 pieces, quarter, 3/8, and half. We've got quarter drive is going to be your T8, 10, 15, 20, T25, and T27. Jumping up to 3/8 drive, it's T30, 40, 45, 47, 50, and 55. In half-inch drive, you've got one socket in half-inch drive. It is T60. Going back to 3/8 drive, every single hex is going to fall in that category. SAE, which is what I care about, we've got 8ths, 5/32, 3/16, 7/32, quarter, 5/16, and 3/8. In metric, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no skips, 4 through 10, SAE 8th through 3/8. Not gonna lie, I really wish there was a half-inch hex, and it's kind of odd to see T50 on 3/8 drive to me. That's usually the crossover point to half-inch drive. That said, why buy it? Well, as you can see, I was in no hurry to jump on the RBRT bandwagon. Shockingly, time flies the older I get. I think that stuff was out like 2019, maybe even earlier, so 5 years late to the party. The good news is we didn't rush in and like miss anything really. We kind of have a good feel for it. From the people I trust, the people I know using these, they either work fantastically or they break, and that kind of seems to be the general consensus. I don't have the RBRT guy here with me. I don't have a demo block for you. I'm not a paid person. I didn't get these free. Yes, I know virtually every other tool company has these. Yes, I 100% know the OEM behind it is selling his grip edge on the Jungle site. Yes, I know they're sometimes cheaper than Mac, and I don't care. With this, if you think of it as 9, 9, and 9, metric hex, SAE hex, and Torx, those same sets going with grip edge, which if you like green, you know that's one thing they have going for them, or dealing with Amazon, that's, I don't know. I am not a Jungle person. I'm not an Amazon person. I think you know that. Look at all the people that do YouTube, particularly tool people. Not calling anyone out, because everyone could be called out for this. Half the time you do not have a video description. You're like, oh, BS, there's huge volumes of text. Yeah, and they're all Amazon affiliate links. Okay. I don't float that way. I would rather buy from the local Mac guy from Mac Direct. I would rather buy from KC Tool, DRPD, Coke, and go direct to the company when possible. I don't like buying from the Jungle site. If you're like, well, they got the best deals. No. You probably don't know where to look or where to find the promotions. If Amazon had the best deals on tools all the time, guess what? I'd have a lot of stuff coming from Amazon. I'm not a Prime person. I'll never be a Prime person. I don't want drones, robots, or robotic-like people delivering stuff to me. Nothing I get from them comes in good shape. It's always a problem. It's always a hassle. I basically get like birthday stuff, like birthday party supplies, that type of thing. And every once in a while, they will have a slightly lower price. And if there was something freaking odd I need, like a magnetic sheet that I just can't find anywhere else, that's the only times I buy from that place. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying how I operate. So, if you get a good deal from Grip Edge, which again is going to be sold through Amazon, you're going to look at like $100 for one of those 9-piece sets. If you do the math, if you think, okay, Torx for 100, metric hex for 100, and the SAE hex for 100, you're at $300. And what did I pay for this? $299. I'll be fair. We'll call it the same price. Okay. Mac is where they started. That's where they launched. Some people think it's great. They went, full on independent straight to you. Other people think it's shady. If you like your Matco guy, if he's the one that shows up all the time, buy it from them. If your Mac guy shows up good, or if you've never seen a Mac guy, for 4 years, maybe don't buy it from Mac. Maybe that's when you do go direct through the Amazon route type of a thing. Do what's best for you, but just know that you're not always going to get the best price there. And in terms of service, I would much rather have my Mac guy show up with it than have to go through. I despise, people can say how great the customer service is there. My experience has been the opposite all the time. I have people tell me, oh, buy direct from Japan, buy direct from Germany. The problems they have getting stuff to me in Texas from all of their warehouses, I don't care to go overseas with them. I would rather give the money to a brick and mortar store. I'd rather give it to a local person. DRPD in California, KC Tool in Missouri, like that's how I'm gonna stay. All right. And I have bad news. If you treat Amazon the way people like to put them on the pedestal, it will be very hard for the brick and mortar local people to survive. And when that happens, guess what Amazon does? The prices won't go down. They're gonna go up. So always be mindful of that. But with that said, we're gonna go ahead, clasp, and here we go. This is new to me, maybe new to you. Nope. Do we have to cut the label? Dadgum. That is unfortunate. I kind of wanted to keep that intact. Granted, I'm not cutting my native language, so I guess that's slightly better. Got the seal broken. Let's take a gander at what's inside this case. It's foam! Dadgum, we've been robbed. We'll have to track the Mac guy down, right? Silica gel should prevent rust. Kind of makes sense to have that on the other side, you would think, the desiccant. But there it is. Do you like the carbon fiber overlay? Do you like the foam? It's debatable. Could we take this out? I bet we could. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. There you go. This will come out. This will save you space. Granted, you can punch the hinges out. You do whatever you want to do. I'm going to call that 7.5 is going to be what you're going to need here, right? Hopefully you can kind of deduce that right. And then coming across, we'll call that 11.25. And then going down, we're going to call that just like a shade over an inch. It's kind of a nasty color of foam. Some of you will like it, some of you will hate it. I wish we could custom color it. Mac has gotten very big on the foam stuff here recently, if you were unaware. But basically, T8 through T40. Again, that's going to be quarter up until, what, the T30, I would guess? Yep, we covered it earlier. I'll say it again. So, quarter drive T8 through T27. 3/8 drive starts with T30, continues through T40, then we drop down here to 4, 45, 47, 50, and 55, and then the lone, the only half-inch drive RBRT bit socket is going to be the T60. So that's the profile, that's what we're looking like. Again, really nice drive-ins here, classic Mac styling with the knurling. We'll set that off to the side. Very positive fitment there, if you couldn't tell. This is what sucks, though. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really like this layout, I have to say. Like, I think that could have been optimized a little bit better. Clearly, they're not as concerned about Mr. SAE hex, which, unfortunately, for people watching this video, that would be me. So SAE land, 1/8, 5/30 seconds, 3/16, 7/30 seconds, and you're like, 3/8, whoa, hey, where did it go? And you're like, well, okay, go down, it's snaked. No, we have to then go 4 through 10 on all of the frickin' metric sizes, and then we get to the final 3 SAE hexes. Why? I don't know who laid this out, but I have serious questions for you. Granted, I think most people that are buying this probably might like the Torx together, might like that. It's backwards, though. This is crazy. Whoever did this, crazy. I would not get along with this person very long. 4 through 10, totally fine with that. They didn't even like get it by drive size. I don't know what they were thinking. Why could we not like relocate that, or just, you know, take the carbon fiber and the Mac logo and put it up here? Or minimize it or something. I don't know what they were thinking there. So me, I'm gonna have to jump from over here to over here. Now the good news is I'll primarily, out of this set, be using these two, maybe that a little bit, but 1/4 and 3/8 hex, that's the big reason that I purchased this, not gonna lie. Again, I do wish it jumped up a little bit more than that, but it is what it is. Let's grab the 3/8 hex. All right, I want to see this thing up close. You know what a hex looks like, right? An Allen key. They don't look like a throwing star. This looks like a throwing star. Why? It's designed to catch and grab. Really should have brought some of those socket cap screws with me. I've gotten extremely lucky with the stuff I've done. I have thought so many times, like, good Lord, this is not going to come out of here. And it always has, fantastically. The Wera Hex Plus profile, again, we'll plug German tool reviews here. He's done thorough testing on those. Those videos are old, they're buried, YouTube's not promoting them. You'll probably even have trouble searching for them. If I remember, I'll try to showcase it. At work, I've got some Wera Hex keys. I have taken out some really nasty looking socket cap screws. If you do anything like old LeBlancs, right, Cushman chucks, things along those lines, I mean, you have to move the jaws, and you're thinking like, yeah, how are jaws held on a chuck? Well, I'll give you a hint, it's not a hex screw, okay? It's not a bolt. You don't put a 6 or 12 point socket on it. It's recessed. It has to be recessed. And how do we do that? How do you accomplish that? A socket cap screw. You also need to tighten those down, right? You don't want stuff flying off and hitting you in the face as the operator. So needless to say, this is a great, people never like showcase this stuff because it's like all targeted mainly at like auto mechanics and stuff. People don't really think outside the box and think of somebody like industry or manufacturing or even just machining type of instances. That is a perfect example. Just the jaws on lathe. You got to switch operations. Boom, you got to go from inside to outside. your everyday socket cap screw, right? The screws I've taken out with the Weras have been impressive. I need to probably bring some home, like record a video and showcase it. I am very optimistic, based on what people have told me about these, that this will do that. And there could come a day when my Weras aren't going to get it done. I've also got a whole bunch from Allen. Yes, Allen brand, Allen USA, like Allen the Allen screw, Allen key. All the way to Armstrong, Proto, Elkin, Bondhus, you name it, from 25 millimeter all the way up to like 4 to 5, 6-inch iterations. And some of them pair beautifully with rounded out sockets because they match. Right? You look and it's supposed to be a 6-point hex fastener like the bit, and it's not. It's all the corners are folded over and they match the socket. The screw, I should say. So there will come a day where I fear that I will need these, and I have to tell you, the fitment on this is really good. Again, coming all the way out to the end of the bit, you get a bit more play. Again, I'm not sure how much of that is attributed. That seems like a pretty nice fit, not gonna lie. On these, I genuinely don't know. Is this like a Mac hex bit socket made in the USA with the Taiwanese made R.B.R.T bit press fitted? Don't know. I truly don't know. I really wish I did, but I don't know. It's very possible that is the case. That would be one selling point or advantage. They could just be something done in Taiwan with the Mac logo and similar cross hatching that they'd have on the edge of the socket. No clue. If you know definitively, by all means, feel free to let people know. But I do wish that that went a few sizes larger in the SAE hex. The metric hex, I'm not going to lie, if I ever use that, it's going to be here at the house. SAE hex, this is, geez, stuff I was thinking of for work. The Torx, that's also probably going to benefit me more here at the house. I will say more and more things do come crated. I'd say 80%, that's 4 and 5 times if you're scoring at home, I just get like staples. Not nails, not screws, staples. Yeah, I know, strange. The other 20%, that 1 in 5, it like varies from nails, which is probably 50% of the time, to just a standard number 2 Phillips screw. But every once in a while I get one and it's like sunk in. It's always either T20s or T25s. So in those cases, you know, it's usually some guy running in with an impact. That's all they're doing is securing a crate. These may come in handy. What I kind of wanted to do really is preview these, see if I like them, and then come in and, again, just like with Opti Grip, or Grip Edge I should say, on Amazon, a rail. It's usually 7 pieces. Maybe I could change it up a little bit or make a deal, get a standalone bit for like a larger size. You're looking at about $100, and I can do that from the Mac guy too. And I'll go to town that way and maybe just have the SAE hex. Again, if I ever get to a point where I need metric, I'll do it. I'll bring those in. If these pass my test, if I'm getting a better than 50-50 success rate, you know, they work or break type of a thing, we'll go to town. Also, if I break these, I want to see, like, does the Mac guy have these bits readily on hand, tucked away somewhere on the truck, or is he like, I'll have to order it? Because if he has to order it, downtime is not something I need. That means I have to have 2 of these. And I don't want to do that. So we'll take it in stride from there. But I don't feel like, again, we need to go on and on about these. They're 5 years old. You probably watched a million videos on them. And I will be totally straight up and honest with you. I have gotten by in life, even since these existed, just fine. Totally fine not having R.B.R.T in my life. I don't know that I plan to expand past this. Honestly, again, the SAE hex sizes would be the biggest deal to me. The Torx fasteners, all the time, I run into that here. It's usually a deal where somebody serviced something or they've swapped sensors. And boom, guess what? They've rounded it out, you know. And that's where those would come in. But the SAE hex, as odd as that may seem to some of you, that's a big deal to me. Again, if you're in heavy equipment, if you're in manufacturing, industrial maintenance, agricultural stuff probably, SAE hex is still a very big, very prevalent, very common thing. Anything built in the glory days when things were built to last, it's going to be SAE hex and SAE fasteners. It's a big deal to me. I know the rest of the world might be moving on and getting throwaway, disposable, this and that, and 19 different iterations of Torx to make you buy new stuff all the time. I still live in a simple time, right? 1940s machinery up through the 1980s. Good times, right? So yeah, every once in a while I come across something metric, but that's more in modern machines, which I don't have to deal with right now. So when I do, I'll be set. But for the most part, that's my interest. This little run here and then that jumps down here for reasons unknown to me. That's what I want to see. That's where I want to go. So once again, quarter drive, T8 through 27, 30, 40, 45 through 55, 3/8. T60, which we have sitting over here, is the only half-inch in the set. Again, very odd not seeing a T50 as a half-inch drive, but that could be beneficial to me if we ever get in like really tight space constraints. I don't know where we would. I honestly use it all the time, but it's like seat belts, which I don't really have obstructions most of the time. And then 4 through 10, the guy that laid that out did great. They're 3/8 drive. They go sequentially in order. You could have totally done a better job here. I'm just going to say on the layout. It wouldn't be hard to do. This looks good, but then when you look at the details, it's like spacey. Not a fan of that. So the case seems really nice. Again, if you want them to stay like this, if you were, say, industrial maintenance and you needed the whole assortment, you actually have modern machines, old machines, and Torx everywhere. Keep it in the case, throw it in a cart or a bag, you're home free. If you're just going to use the Torx out of here, put them on a rail and have this tucked away in like your box and keep the Torx stuff in a cart or bag with you, you know, type of a thing. What I want to do is check fitment on this guy. Again, I always forget that this has the quick release because I get used to the KTCs, but it looks pretty nice. Again, if the socket is Taiwanese, I think it's just fine. If there is any play, which there might actually be some here. No, it's pretty solid. Again, like if we were to use this and shear it off, I assume we would just punch it out, we get a new one, and again, with the Mac guy, if the socket was ever damaged and it wouldn't hold the bit, you should get a new socket. So, I'm not sure, honestly, if they just give you a new one, and this would apply across the board with grip edge, you know, all of them. If you would get a brand new, just boom, here's your deal, or if it's like, hey, here's your bit, punch the old one out, press that one in. I don't know that. So if you have experience there, if you've broken these, feel free to tell people what to expect. Again, Matt guy, he's a pretty solid dude. I think he'll take care of me. And hopefully I don't break any, but if I do, should be okay. So what I want to know from you, if you're using this, where are you sourcing it? Did you jump on the bandwagon? You got to realize most people that jumped on the RBRT bandwagon will be Mac because they were the exclusive rights distributor for so long. If you waited it out, not quite as long as me, but a little close to it. Now Matco's got them. Grip edge, again, you can go direct. You can go that route. Is it something that you just buy as needed? Is it something that you're set up for? Again, a big thing that people missed with these, you don't just have to use these as like, oh geez, you know, I put my hex key in and it just spins and the fastener doesn't even make contact. You can actually use these to install a brand new virgin fastener, to remove a perfectly fine fastener. So you can get more usage out of them than just like an emergency OGs type of a situation. I think that's still kind of lost on a lot of people. So if you didn't have a really good bit socket set, instead of like buying a huge tray from Sunex or Capri, or, you know, spending a ton of money on a tool truck, if you bought these to handle those like OG situations, you can also use it on a brand new virgin screw, right? It's kind of intended for that to happen. How well they do, I don't know. I've never used one. Again, these have been out five or more years. I've never touched one until this day. So believe me, the world got by without R.B.R.T. and it could still get by without it. But if this saves me, if it buys me a little time, that's the big thing, is time, right? And it's not fun to pull something apart and have to go drill it, tap in extractors, try to get them out, break an extractor, have to get that out. You know, heat things up that you don't really want to heat up. There's lots of negatives, right? When you've got bad fasteners. If this helps me, it pays for itself pretty quick. Again, if you don't have good bit sockets yet, or any bit sockets, you can buy a set like this and use it for everything. Funny story, coworker the other day was asking me like, hey man, you ever have to get bolts out on your truck that don't work good? And I'm like trying to process what he means, and I'm like, yeah. And he took me out. He had, it's a Chevy, tells you a lot. And little access panels now on the tailgates. Tailgates, if you're old school, never had access panels. New tailgates, you're like hollow cesspits, right? And they have backup camera mounting and electrics, this and that, and heated whatever, so your hands don't get cold when you push it. All that junk. But he was coming in and he was using like a hex key on a Torx fastener. And he's like, I can't get these out. He's like, I got a couple of them, but I can't get the others. And so I went out there with my Wera hex keys and twin grips, right? And I was like, I'll get those things out, no worries. And then I looked at them, and like the one he was having me start on, I was like, man, you know, I got this one out, and then I went to the next one, and I was like, geez, this is just not happening. And then I kind of looked in close at the fastener, and I was like, you know, there's these little lines here coming out that are still faintly visible in this like giant, like rounded out hole. And I was like, I think these are Torx, you know. I was like, the light bulb went off on my head, and I was like, hey, do you have the ones that you took out, that you said you got out, and you handed them to me? And I'm like, dude, that's Torx. So I went from using, I think it was like a 4mm to, I was like, well, give me a second. And I ran out, and I got my little Hazette bit set and had a T15, and zip, got them all out for him. Something like this could come in handy there. Again, if you got a guy that's running, again, this is a younger dude, he didn't know, you know, it's like something about, he like loaded a bunch of stuff and his backup camera quit working. I told him it was probably a wire, which it turned out to be. But he was trying to get in there, figure it out, fix it himself, see what he needed, and it just, I don't know, to his credit, I don't know what they looked like beforehand. I don't know if it was like brand new, never touched, or if the previous owner did it. But yeah, those were not hex screws, you know, socket cap. They were Torx. And sometimes people do strange things, right? It could be a technician, a rookie tech. It's like, yeah, you know, change out the IAT button. Ooh, hey, you know, I don't know what he did, but it's got a really bad fastener on it now. So something like this could bail people out. Again, I was able to get it. I don't know how that one came out, to be honest with you, but little as that bit just took her out. So keep all that in mind. And again, if that described you, like, he doesn't have hex bits. Like I told him, like, yeah, you need a T15, man, just run to the parts store or grab one. But if you don't have hex bit sockets, you could make a better case for buying this and justify the high price. I'll admit, this seems pretty spendy to me, even on sale, even with grip edge through Amazon at $100 for each one of these sets to equal the 300. That's a lot of money, in my opinion, especially for Taiwanese made. So if you're not on board with, say, a big bit socket set, start out with this, you know, and then eventually, if you're like, okay, hey, I use Torx all the time, I use metric hex all the time, get your dedicated stuff, keep these only for extractors or OG situations, take it from there, right? But yeah, if you've got this, let me know your thoughts, how well they have or haven't worked for you, if you're using them all the time or only in special circumstances. If this is in your box, is it in the intact case? Did you punch the lid off? Do you just have the foam? If you just have the foam, did you keep the case? Or did you throw it away? This is when you start getting into crazy space constraints and requirements. But I'm surprised the battery hadn't died. We're going to end it there. I'm excited to have this, and we'll put it to the paces. Again, I do want to go in tonight, and I'm going to see what the 3/8 SAE, if it stops at 3/8 or keeps going. I probably should have paid closer attention to this, but I thought this ran up to 1/2 inch. It was on me. I admit it when I screw up, as much as I hate to. It's also kind of weird. I would typically want to see that with 3/8, but this will be, again, good. Just like the T50, it'll be slightly smaller for me. So we'll see. Again, I'm excited for it. I think it's a decent price. I feel like the Mac guy is going to take care of me should I have any issues. And we'll take it from there. So again, your thoughts and opinions always appreciated. Feel free to leave them down below. With that said, LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. If you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. If you like Mac, you're definitely going to want to see my next video. With that said, if you enjoyed, please subscribe, ring the bell, jump your charger across the creek with your RBRT set that actually works. And YouTube just might notify you that we got new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. I was 2 seconds away from being done. Well, just like the last video, missed it by that much. But all I was going to say, most importantly, I hope I catch you back here for more action from the shop.